Hi everyone, and welcome to another NGWA Industry Connected video. Today I'm with Blake Talkmitt, President of Winsupply at Lubbock, Texas company. Blake serves on NGWA's Supplier Section Board of Directors. Welcome, Blake. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Mike.
Let's begin with the extreme weather you experienced with the rare February winter storm in Texas. What immediate effects did it have on your supply chain, and what kind of lasting impacts has it or other weather events had?
Man, that was a rough one. You look into, you already say that we were having supply chain issues before the freezing weather, but then you put 8 days of below freezing weather for us in Lubbock, which is not typical at all, and which was actually most of the state of Texas. And then you put 7 to 8 days of snow and ice even after it got above freezing back over it. You immediately run into transit issues. So all of our freight, even if it was in Lubbock the first day, say day one on Monday of that storm, we didn't see that freight that was in Lubbock until the next Monday. So 7 days later, when it was already in Lubbock, but the trucks weren't running, you put it into the next hub, which our next main hub would be in Dallas. Stuff that was in Dallas was another week after that, so 2 weeks. And then there was even more freight that was in rail cars outside of Dallas that took 3 to 4 weeks. And you could never get updated tracking information on any of it. So immediately, those were the main issues, were transit. You ran into your typical freezing weather product issues, which most of it's gotten better today, except for maybe jet pumps. I know that's a scarce commodity for a lot of people. But for the most part, that's all corrected now. I think you saw some freight cost increases from some of that, along with some other things that are going on. But lasting effects, man, the best one I can think of is going to be from the resin shortage when these resin factories shut down. So anything PVC related, like casing, whether it's poly pipe, we're seeing PVC manufacturers that aren't even taking POs from customers. They're not accepting new customers to even set customers up. Just all kinds of things there that are causing problems. And then I don't even know if it'll get back to normal then, but they're saying maybe a little bit more leveled off August, September. And this is all from that freeze. So
oh my goodness,
that's one of the more lasting effects. And our casing situation and PVC drop pipe isn't good, which I assume there's a lot of people in that same boat.
Yeah. So as of mid-April, when we're talking here, what kind of delivery dates are you giving your customers for water well supply equipment?
For our standard, what I would call our standard, which is in our wheelhouse, is going to be residential and ag. So crop irrigation, drip irrigation, just anything like that, where we're talking about sub-turbines or 4-inch pumps, motors, drives. We're still a same day or maybe next day service on that as far as delivery to our customers and having that product in stock.
Okay.
With that said, if it's anything outside of what we normally do, if it's some special order type equipment, you're 2 weeks, 16 weeks. It just depends on the manufacturer. It just continues, and it can change next day or even that afternoon. I don't understand how it's continuing to get worse, but everyone says it's getting better around the corner, but I haven't seen the corner on it. But with saying that, we've had to keep a lot more inventory than we were prepared to keep. So as far as non-stock product, things that we don't typically keep, we are keeping or have on order just in case because of these long lead times.
Okay. Yeah, that feeds into my next question. With some companies in the water well market experiencing product shortages, price increases, freight issues, and more, how is your company managing your stock inventory? You shared a little bit already, but
you're right. Well, when I first got into this business or into the wholesale idea of business, it's turns. Inventory turns is what you want. And if you try to do that now, you are going to lose very quickly because you can't get that product that quick. So what used to be is, if I can keep a quarter of a year's supply on my shelf, I'll be good. You really need to stretch that out to a half a year supply, if not more. And then even while you're doing that, have fill-in orders coming in right behind it, like all in between. Uh, that's one thing we've done more of. We're really blessed to have some great partners, contractors of ours, and we communicate with them on where the market is and everything. And they've actually increased some of their stock to help take the burden off of us too, which is great.
Yeah.
And another thing that's actually really cool is I've got a few friends in the wholesale industry that aren't with my company, but good close friends, and we tend to help each other out. There's some really good people in this industry.
Yes, there is. That's really cool to hear. What advice do you have for water well contractors trying to manage their inventory, considering the current market volatility?
I guess the best thing I could say is to make sure and communicate with your supply house and your sales reps. Make sure they're keeping you up to date on all the lead times, price increases, or product issues. That's going to be the best thing to keep an eye on, and to basically best information they can get. Another thing is the best word I can use for it will be the word versatile. Uh, this year and last year, I think a lot of people have had to step outside their comfort zones and maybe use a product they hadn't used before or use a brand they haven't used before. But I don't anticipate these lead times getting any better or price decreases on the horizon. So just be prepared.
Sure. And how does the feedback you receive from contractors impact the way you do business?
At the end of the day, that's why we're here. That's our job, is to basically listen to the information that they give us and serve them. It's about service. One of the things that I always kind of laugh about is, you know, there's two types of cable wrap tape. There's green and black, and we have to keep both. And each contractor that uses green or that uses black will tell you the other one's the worst thing to use and that they should use this color. And it's not my decision to tell them what they need to use, but what they choose to use is what we'll keep and how we'll help them. So, at the end of the day, it's just service. So that's that's kind of how we let them almost dictate our business in a way of speaking.
And related to that, what have you been hearing most from contractors in 2020 and thus far in 2021?
Well, there's a few things that come to mind, but when's the next price increase? Is it in stock? How can we make this work with what we have, kind of a deal. There's a lot more manufacturer specific questions there too. And I think all this really comes down to the fact that, in the last year, these sales reps have been grounded, and I think it goes back to that communication issue, whether it's through email or phone. As much progress as the water well industry has made in the last year with this virtual platform, and just like we did the groundwater week, virtual, and even our board of directors meeting was all virtual last year, and it worked. But there's still a whole aspect of this social aspect and this social interaction that's not there when you're in person with someone, and just the communication that can get done there. So I think once we get back to these in-person sales calls and having these manufacturer reps come and see the contractors, I think that'll help correct a lot of those questions, or at least answer them, so they're not hearing it from us just like, oh, yep, same old thing. But actually hearing it from a manufacturer should mean a little more.
Makes sense. And switching to the industry's top challenge, how has your company gone about recruiting and hiring new employees? And can you share what's been successful for your company?
I think anyone will tell you that that is actually at any point in the industry, whether you're a contractor, whether you're a supply house, or whether you're a manufacturer, that's probably the most difficult part of anything we do, is finding good help. And especially in the last year and a half, it's definitely made it more difficult. When we look to our shop and drivers, more of what we do is through staffing agencies, and it's more of a trial and error kind of deal. Another thing we do is we kind of look for guys with similar backgrounds to a lot of what we have here, which is going to be small town, agricultural backgrounds, farming backgrounds, ranching backgrounds. They tend to fit in with us better and our customers for where we're at. But it's just it's a really difficult situation, even before everything. It's only made things more difficult. So, but I don't have any great tips, and I'd be open to hear anyone.
Sure. Well, and lastly, with everything that has happened in 2020 and 2021 so far, have you found any specific resources that have really helped you and your company navigate these challenges?
Yeah, these are actually both from Facebook, but the NGWA had a COVID-19 discussion group, and that really helped us last year to focus in on some areas. Just some good information was shared between the group on that, and I'd still recommend anyone to check it out because there's some great information on there. Another one is a little more, I guess, outside the box thinking, but there's a group called Waterwheel Guys on Facebook, and just all kinds of different opinions and different ways of doing things from around the country, and even some from out of the country. Just kind of sharing everyday issues, whether it's product available. You kind of get to see everything, and it makes you feel like you're not the only one. Plus, there's some really great comedy on there too. If you have the chance, I highly recommend checking it out.
Well, great. This has been informative, Blake. Really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.